Well, hello and welcome to another Happy Paws Sunday afternoon chat. We've been away for the last couple of weeks because we've been incredibly busy and Lisa's had a particularly busy time. And we wanted to get her back for a special show on with an update of Operation STIG. Operation STIG, entitled STIG, which stands for, and Lisa's just reminded me about this, Save the Innocent Goldens, which we launched in June. And I wanted to ask Lisa all this information about what's been happening since June, since Operation STIG started. So good afternoon, Lisa. Welcome to the show.
Minnie, so lovely to be back. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's lovely to see you. So can I just ask you, first of all, what is or was Operation STIG, Save the Innocent Goldens?
Oh, goodness, right. Well, it all started when the Turkish government decided that they were going to collect up all the street dogs and put them into pounds. And if they weren't adopted or sort of taken by a rescue, I guess, that they would have 7 days and they would be killed. So what happened there was that all the pounds were told that they had to kill these dogs basically, and of course we sort of had a bit of a sort of preview, if you like, of what we thought might happen. So we knew it was coming, but we weren't sure exactly when. So when the government actually brought in this hideous law, which is just well, I just don't even know what to say about it really. I think we've discussed it so many times. It's just absolutely heinous. That we knew that we were then on a bit of a time scale to get the Goldens that we could out of these pounds so that it would actually save their lives. And so that's where Operation STIG sort of came into it really, and we threw everything that we had at this. And we managed initially to get 20 out, which was the original 20 that we managed to get out and safe back to the centre. And obviously we did the lottery for that to make sure that we had all the money to pay for their sort of initial costs. And but of course, like everything, it just continued. So I think we're sort of a little bit further on than 20 now. But we're just trying to just do our best and just save lives. That's basically what Operation STIG was all about.
So there was an initial 20. Do you have any idea how many have been rescued under that STIG banner?
Oh, I think we're up to 32 at the moment.
Oh, wow.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, but for us as rescuers, it's so tough. How do you say who lives and who dies? That's the bottom line. That's the question that we have to ask ourselves all the time. And that's where, as a compassionate rescuer, we all find incredibly hard because you have to make decisions and it's tough. It can be very emotionally upsetting, draining, whatever however you feel, because we're making decisions on their lives, and we know that the ones that are left behind won't survive. So we're up at 32 at the moment, so we know that it's always a bit tricky because of course heart rules head most of the time, which is, thank God, we're like that. And yeah, so 32 it is.
And that's 32 on top of the normal rescues, the normal number of rescues that you've got as well, isn't it? So it's 32 extra dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so it was a massive undertaking for our charity, one that was unprecedented in the life of Happy Paws, completely. But in typical Happy Paws tradition, if you like, we attempt these things because we know that we can do it. We have to do it. We have to put that plan in place. And we're very fortunate that we have obviously the incredible support that we receive. Without that, we would not be able to do what we do. So we acted fast. It was fast, it was crazy, it was that week was just nuts. And like you say, of course, on top of the other rescues that we've agreed to take on a sort of normal sort of basis. So yeah, we were at one point we were very, very full, but thankfully we got how many did we get out in September? We got 17 out in September. we're getting 15 out in November. So technically by January, we're back to our sort of January, March time, we're back to our sort of normal levels. We've got 11 traveling in January. So when we get to January, that's when we'll be able to sort of say, right, okay, let's now look at who we can rescue and get into our system.
Being able to rescue so many dogs, that's only possible because of the support that we receive, isn't it?
100%. You just couldn't do it without everybody behind you. It's one of those things. Charities is the most amazingly wonderful thing to be involved in, but it can be also very stressful because you've got to get that balance right. And one thing Happy Paws is very good at is balancing. We make sure that we have the money, we have the support, we have all of these things in place. Then we can go off and we can do what we do best, which is rescue. And that's how we roll. And we're all just one big happy family, because it doesn't matter whether you run the charity like I do, or you've got a worker that comes along and sort of helps keep the areas clean and things like that. We're no different. We all have a role to play. This is how Happy Paws, I think, has been so incredibly successful, in my view, is that everybody is treated exactly the same. Where it doesn't matter what you do, and the support is incredible. And it really, I guess, it's all of us standing up for the breed that we love. We all want to be involved in that. It doesn't matter what you do, but we have to feel part of it, and that's why I think Happy Paws is very successful.
And from a financial point of view, I know that Anne, who runs our wonderful Anne, who runs our lottery, we've done dedicated two lotteries this year to Operation STIG. One in June, which was incredibly successful, and people were so generous with buying tickets. And then you've just done another one for, what was it, October? We've just finished October, to keep those funds coming in so that we can support and give the dogs everything that they need.
Exactly. Rescuing from Turkey is actually quite expensive. It's not the cheapest of things to do. There are many rules, many regulations to adhere to. So the initial lottery was for the original 20s prep costs, as we call it, and their sort of first initial costs. So all of those costs, per dog, to start their passport, their book, is £400. That's £400 per dog. Now that's just that one document. £400 is such a lot of money. But then how do you put a price on a life? That's how I look at it. And I think, well, it's nothing really. It's £400. But then you have to look at the bigger picture: the food, the vet care, the training, the area, the this, the that. There's so many different things that we have to pay for to make sure our dogs are well cared for. They have their training, their veterinary care. There's so many other things, the play park maintenance, that keeps us going to make sure that when those dogs arrive in the UK, they are happy, healthy, adjusted. That's what we're really making sure that they are. And that comes at a cost. So that's why we decided that the second lottery should be for ongoing costs for the 20 odd, because we want to make sure that they receive the best care, obviously, and that's what all of our dogs receive. But when you're rescuing on such a bigger scale, the costs start to get quite heavy. And these were really the initial 20. We maybe, unless for Operation STIG, maybe we wouldn't have gone down that road of rescuing so many at one time. So it's important that the funds are there to make sure that we give them exactly the same as our other rescues, which of course we do. And they're all doing great. It's, they're so happy, so healthy. You can't, bless their little hearts, they're all doing so super well, and they're doing great with their training. They're all getting used to their harnesses and walking on the lead and all this, that, and the other, and sort of interacting really well with each other. So all of them will come to the UK without a doubt.
We're going to have a couple of little videos at the end of this chat today so that everybody can see how well they're doing over in the play park and in their training. They just seem such happy dogs.
Yes, they are. And where they've come from, varying different degrees of abuse, cruelty, abandonment, all of those things culminate to quite sometimes I think, oh, bless them, they struggle sometimes, not necessarily physically, but mentally. But you see, once they get into the routine of the centre and their training starts and they know that everyone's really nice and that everybody's going to look after them, and they spend lots of time in Happy Paws Play Park, which is amazing. So they get to roll around on the green grass and sort of have their training session, and they're so well looked after. We have a group chat for each dog, and everybody sort of has an input into that. And when you see them sort of like, they almost smile when it's like grooming day and things like that. You can see their little faces. I mean, you had grooming videos of Layla, didn't you?
I know. I particularly think, though, I really do think that golden retrievers smile. I've
Do.
always thought that they smile. Somebody said to me, dogs don't smile. I go, "Yeah, my dog smiles."
I do.
You can tell when a dog is happy and healthy. I think for a lot of people, when they see photographs when we say this dog's just been rescued, and then they see after a few weeks of being at the centre, the it's not just the physical. You can see the mental change in these dogs. They're just not depressed anymore. You can see when a dog is depressed.
110%. It's so interesting. I mean, I'm not a dog psychologist or anything like that, and I don't really understand all that. But sort of, yeah, you're absolutely right, Dominique. It's just you can see it. I saw it most definitely when I look at the before and after pictures, say, of Arch, my boy, and I look at him and he looked defeated. He looked depressed. He looked sad. He looked absolutely like he just about had enough. And his face and his demeanor was so hunched up and so like, oh, like another day. It was almost, it was just so incredibly sad. And sort of, I look at him sometimes now and I think he sits so straight and so upright, like the Lord of the Manor sort of thing. You would never believe it was the same boy. He's so happy and confident, and that's how I feel with where their journey starts in this at the centre, because they build their confidence, show them that people are actually rather nice. They're not going to hurt you. They're not going to whack you. They're not going to hit you. They're not going to starve you. And you can see over the months how much they improve. And then, of course, when they arrive with their families and they get settled within the family environment, that's when I struggle to even recognize them, to be fair. I'm like, oh my goodness, is that so and so? And that's lovely, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to change lives. We're here to make them better. We're here to stick it to the people that are cruel, because I always see it as a win for the good guys when we bring our dogs over. And I think that's really important, and that gives me a lot of strength to think that we are really making a difference to these little ones' lives. And it's the whole Happy Paws team that do that. So yeah.
Oh, definitely. So what's next? When do you think, when will the Operation Stick dogs arrive in the UK?
Yeah, well, we hope. Well, they've all started obviously their books, and they've had all their vaccinations and da and all the rest of it. So we're starting the whole. The process has been started, and then I'm probably thinking around sort of March time, March April-y time, they'll start to come over, and that would be amazing. I'm really excited. I'm like when they come over, we're excited anyway, because you're going to join us. So anyway,
I hope so. I hope so. That would be amazing.
on
I
the
mean,
25th, yeah.
in one way, that seems far away, but actually, we're nearly in mid-November. That's really not that far away.
It really isn't. And, I mean, as you know, you had to wait 3 months for Layla. I had to wait 3 months for Archie. And even I was like chomping at the bit like when Archie was. I
Oh.
was like, oh, this is such a long time. But then it arrives, and it makes it even more exciting, more special, that you've waited that long for your little one to come over. But yeah, about March, April time, they'll be all sort of making their way, and certainly sort of throughout that period, like maybe 3 months after that, they should all be here really. So yeah, we're very excited.
Be really, really excited. So, if somebody would like to help with Operation STIG, is there anything that they can do?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots they can do. I mean, it's always great. You can take part in the lottery. You can, put your own fundraising event on, which is great. Whatever you choose to do. There's so many different things. It always surprises me with what people, attempt. With fundraising, some things I think, oh, I wouldn't do that, and other things I think, oh, I might do that. Yeah. I mean, it's just whatever you feel you want to do. And it's just really nice to feel that you're part of, something really special. But also, if people contact the charity, we'll help you, support you, do whatever we can to do to make a fundraising event special for you.
And we always do. We always do. Well, we can help with social media and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So we're very, 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 very helpful. Well, thank you, Lisa. Thank you for updating us on these gorgeous kids. We're very excited that they're coming over from March onwards. And I know we'll probably do another update on them. And we quite regularly put videos on social media. So if anybody would like to see how they're getting on, please follow us on social media. All the links will be down below in the description box. And if you would like to donate or help towards their care, you can always do that by visiting our website and going on the donation page. For anything, if you would like to donate to Happy Paws, we're always grateful. And as I said, following this chat, there will be some videos of the gorgeous dogs so that people can see how happy and healthy they are becoming after being rescued in June. Lisa, thank you for joining us for another
You're welcome.
Sunday afternoon chat. We hope to be back. I think we're back next week. We are definitely back next week after a couple of weeks off. I'm so grateful to everyone for watching and listening, and thank you for joining the Sunday afternoon chat for another day. Bye then. Bye, Lisa.